Hello. Hi. How's everybody doing? Yes. Okay, that was, I know it's like the middle of it's early on a hump day, middle of a crazy week for all of you, I'm sure. You might be sleepy or hungry or sitting next to someone you've never seen or met in your entire life. But this is the 5th anniversary of NSB's Engage. We have unbelievable speakers for you, authors, entrepreneurs, Olympic athletes who are gonna motivate and inspire us all. So I'm gonna ask that question one more time. How is everybody doing today? Okay, all right, I feel a little better. Are there any loud, proud MTV fans in the house? Oh, a smattering applause from the agents that represent me. And then some raising of the roof from these two ladies. Thank you. How about closeted, embarrassed MTV fans? That's okay, too. The guys who are like, I used to watch The Hills with my girlfriend. Sure, it was with your girlfriend. Okay. That's all right. You're all smart enough to be here at Engage, so it cancels any possible MTV-related stupidity out. For those of you who have no idea who this strange person is standing in front of you and over there in very tight pants, actually, that billboard just got started. They started to put it up yesterday, and I drove past it, and I was on the streetcar, or I was in a car, and it was on a streetcar, and I drove past it. I hadn't seen it yet, and I thought, haha, that person looks like they have to go to the bathroom. And then I realized it was me, so I apologize in advance if you pass these billboards in the next couple of weeks. But I am very proud to be your host here at Engage and to be the new host of Canada's Smartest Person on the CBC, because this show really is going to redefine what we think about intelligence. Also, it has redefined my email signature, which now reads Jessi Cruickshank, Canada's Smartest Person. And when I email Americans, they believe that's a fact, which I will take and I will never change it. But really, this show is sort of throwing away this whole notion that IQ tests and knowing your facts and figures is what defines intelligence. We're using the cutting-edge theory of multiple intelligence, which says that there are 6 different categories of intelligence that make up a well-rounded person. So I'm gonna go through some of the categories, all of the categories, and you're gonna put your hand up if you think that you are intelligent in that particular area. So we're gonna start with, be honest, and be proud. We're gonna start with linguistic intelligence. Are you a reader? Can you use words? Do you write well? Can you speak? Hands up if you have linguistic intelligence. Yes? Okay, a little, that's all right. There are 5 left, you're okay. Physical intelligence, are you an athlete? Can you dance? Are you coordinated enough to run with a martini in high heels? I don't know. Physical intelligence, okay, that's good. Logical intelligence, are you good at math? Do you know your facts, your figures? Can you solve puzzles? Yes? That's commissions. She can calculate commissions, everybody. That's logically intelligent. Visual intelligence. Can you remember things, patterns? Can you put together an outfit? There are a few of you. Yes, good. That's visual intelligence. Musical intelligence. Can you sing? Do you have an ear for music? Wow. I'm not going to karaoke with this side. Just a few of you will admit to knowing how to sing. Okay, Tim, did you put your, there you go, that's right. Please, 2 hands up for Tim Magwood, thank you. He's under arrest, I'm musically intelligent. And finally, social intelligence, which is a really big part. Can you make friends? Can you engage, which is what we're all here to do? Can you read social cues? That was your cue to put your hand up. if you are socially intelligent. That's good. So, okay, so we'll be making some friends here today. Those are the 6 categories that all these studies are saying are the new markers of intelligence. And if you're well-rounded and have a good, keen sense of each of those, you are a very smart individual. That's what we're testing on the show. And when I looked at the lineup of speakers today, I realized that that's really amazingly, that's who NSB has brought for you all today. People who sort of represent all different facets of those intelligence. So it's a very well-rounded day we have planned for you today. We have Jennifer Jones, has a gold medal for our country from the 2014 Olympic Games. I'd say she's got some physical intelligence. Todd Maffin, whose visual intelligence has allowed him to spot technology trends. His linguistic intelligence has allowed him to write a new book about it that you'll be hearing all about. Kelsey Ramsden, she's turned her logical intelligence into a business that has had incredible success, many businesses all around the world. Dave Meslin, clearly a socially gifted human being. He'll open your minds to community engagement, the importance of knowing your neighbors. And Tim Magwood, of course, the musically intelligent Tim Magwood, and our mental health panel, who have all sort of used their social and emotional intelligence to really navigate and tear down the stigma that surrounds this topic that we're going to talk about later today. So, so excited to be a part of Engage. I am a host on eTalk on CTV, so I just wrapped the Toronto Film Festival. Did anyone get to see any of the films? Yes, excellent. Some amazing films. I was, of course, running around interviewing all these weird famous people who really are so weird. I interviewed Al Pacino, and then I met his 35-year-old girlfriend. He's 75, so that's horrifying. I also did a intimate sit-down with Miss Keira Knightley about her film, and in the film, there's this terrible breakup. So I was asking her about, the worst breakup she had ever experienced, and she said to me, completely straight-faced, "I've never been broken up with." So she is not human, everybody. Keira Knightley has never been broken up with. I then started reminiscing on my worst breakup, which was my very first boyfriend in the 10th grade. So I was a late bloomer, thank you. And he called my family voicemail to leave a message on the family voicemail machine, the kind that you rewind with the tape and play. And it said something like, "Hey, Jessi, it's Ailey Dolgan." I'm just going to shout it out. If anyone works with him, fire him. "Ailey, it's Ailey, and I just wanted to say I think we should break up. Our relationship was like baseball, a swing and a miss." My entire family is crowded around the answering machine, laughing at me. They still use the quote, "swing and a miss." It was not funny at the time, it was humiliating. And as I started to think back to that a couple of days ago, I realized that teenagers today in 2014 will never have to deal with that humiliation. They have smartphones, they have Twitter, they have Facebook, they have Snapchat, they have direct lines of communication to their entire social group. They don't need to speak or make eye contact with their parents. They don't need that to get information through to them. And it really sort of made me think about this whole nature of technology and how it affects relationships. And that's what we're talking about with our next speaker today. Everyone feeling good? Ready to go for the second part of our morning? Yes. All right. Before I bring up our next speaker, I want a show of hands. How many people know your neighbors? How many people know the person sitting next to you right now, whether you just met them? Okay, not all of you. All right, how many people know your neighbors that you live adjacent to, in a home next to you, the apartment next to you? Wow. How many know them enough to consider them allies, someone you would go, you would trust, you would go borrow a cup of sugar from? Really? Wow. I'm so impressed with you people who put your hands up. I have lived in Los Angeles for 3 years now in the same home. And recently, this was a couple months ago, just in the spring, I was pulling my car up into my driveway and I saw something moving on the driveway and I stopped, and it was a live turtle crawling across my parking space, like this big, like a real turtle And so I pause, I get out of my car, I go investigate. It is, in fact, a real turtle just crawling on the cement, and I start to panic. I Googled turtle care, turtle food, turtle bathtub, question mark? Like, I didn't know what to do with it or where to put it. Well, it turns out there are a lot of different turtles who require a lot of different types of care. So it was like, if it's a Greek turtle, don't feed it solid food. If it's a Polish turtle, only feed it solid food. Like, it was terrifying. And here is this turtle, and I feel a responsibility for it. So I do what any good Samaritan would do. I put it in my car, and I drive it to the Humane Society of Los Angeles, which, like anything in Los Angeles, is located an hour and a half away. So I'm in the LA traffic just saying to Morty, who I named him, I shouldn't have done that, please, like, survive, just don't die. We get there, I drop him off, they say it'll be fine, and an hour and a half later, I'm back at my house. I'm making dinner in my kitchen, and I hear outside the window, Sarah. Sarah? I take a peek out the window. Sarah! It is my neighbor, a middle-aged man, lives by himself, on his hands and knees in his front lawn, desperately crawling through the grass, going, Sarah! Sarah! And at that point, I realized I had done something really bad. So I had to go up to my neighbor. 3 years he's lived next to me. I had never met him, nor did I know he owned a pet turtle. Introduced myself. I asked him if he had a turtle. He said yes. I informed him that I had taken the turtle to the Humane Society. That was officially an hour and a half away. He started to get teary. He was like crying. He didn't know what to do. He thought that he didn't know if the turtle would be alive. And at that moment, I realized I really should get to know my neighbors a little bit better. And that is what our next speaker really is here to talk to us about. I want to share a quick story. I went to the University of Toronto, and I spent so many hours in this library that I'm sure you've all picked up my DNA. At some point, I drooled in here. I did that was about it. That's as exciting as it got. But I do a lot of speaking at colleges and universities, and I always encourage the students to get involved in the extracurricular activities that their schools provide, because I believe that's where you learn the most, and it's where you meet people that aren't necessarily studying the same things that you are, and so you get that sort of well-rounded friend base. And I met Josh doing a drama, a play, like an off-campus theater company was doing a play called The Importance of Being Earnest. Are there any theater nerds here? Yes, embarrassed, I know. You're all like, yes, it's okay. I was a theater nerd in school. I carried props around everywhere I went. I wore stupid costumes to classes because I was going to rehearsal afterwards. So I was doing this play called The Importance of Being Earnest with Josh, and he was the lighting designer on the show. He was the funniest, sweetest, nicest guy you've ever met. I mean, every rehearsal I walked into was always met with Josh with a huge smile on his face. And no pun intended, he literally had a way of lighting up every room that he walked in. And we rehearsed that play 3, 4, 5 times a week, sometimes in the little rooms they used to have here at the reference library. I don't think we were allowed to, but we did. And on opening night, we had sold out the Isabel Bader Theater just across the street. So tons of people, hundreds of people were coming. We were all very nervous, and we gathered on stage for a pre-show pep talk. And we looked around, and Josh wasn't there, which was very strange because he was our lighting guy, but he was at every rehearsal taking notes. He was the first one there with that big smile on his face. But on the show day, Josh wasn't there. So our stage manager called him, no answer. He texted him, no answer. He finally went to his residence right down here at University College and discovered that Josh wasn't there. Josh had taken his life the night before. And when you're in university and that's a friend, you're met with so many questions, you know? Why did that happen? Why wasn't he happy? What could I have done to have helped him? And we were met with so few answers. And that's why I'm so glad that we're all here and we're going to talk about something that needs to be discussed more, which is the topic of mental health.